starter cap, brought him back. Boy, we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps, paying for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go, Brownies.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Mr. Hero's turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio.
I crave a hero.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. I'm Allie Ellery, coming to you live from Pensacola, Florida. And joined with me, as always, we've got Dustin out in Cleveland. This is a New Year's Day edition of the program. So want to wish everybody a happy and healthy New Year. Wishing you all the best. And hopefully in the year 2026, the Cleveland Browns are going to be even better next year. Or just better in general. Not even better, just better than this year. So that's my hope for the upcoming year. But I like this time of year. It's a lot of fun with resolutions and all sorts of different things that, you can take with you positively through the new year. Dustin, you got any New Year's resolutions?
New Year's resolutions. Well, I put out there just playoffs. I'm not even asking for a lot. Just give me, playoffs. I mean, I guess maybe the New Year's resolution would maybe start with a winning record and then we'll go towards playoffs. But
just you personally,
Me personally, yes. So for me personally, I gained some of my weight back, but not like a ton. But I want to go back. My goal is in 2026 to be the most physically fit I've ever been in my entire life, which is kind of crazy. Which is kind of crazy to think. But my goal is by May or June to be really as physically fit as I've ever been in my life. Which I think I can do it. It's just like with anything, it's a goal. And financial freedom in 2026 is another one that I'm looking at. Just more financial stability, save more for retirement, all those wonderful things that you should do more of. So those are just two keys for me. So
yeah, for me, listen, I want to get off the phone a little bit, take some distance from being behind a screen as somebody that works from home and does a podcast. Maybe eliminating some screen time is on my list of things I'd like to do. And we cook a lot of food at home, but I'm excited to try some new recipes. Got some great cookbooks for Christmas. Really excited to dive into that. Just lead into a very healthy year. So wishing you all the best. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to keep this one shorter than we. Okay.
As I say, what I have not bought that I want to buy is an air fryer. I don't own an air fryer, ironically. So everybody raves about an air fryer. Do you have one? Just curious.
Yes, we do. We don't really use it very often, but we do have. But anyways, this is a holiday version of the program. So we're going to keep this one a little shorter than we normally do. We're going to have a little bit more fun with it tonight. Obviously, where we're at in the season isn't where we want to be. We'd much rather be on here talking about the Browns going into the playoffs. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Soon to come, we're going to be talking about what the Browns need to do with their 2 first-round picks. I don't really want to do that tonight, Dustin. I just want to have some fun with it. Of course, we are going to talk about, this upcoming matchup and the importance of it and what that might mean for, hopefully, Myles Garrett. We're going to have Dylan on. He's got some things to talk about, and then we'll have a little fun with the two of you on, and we'll make our picks. But before we kick things off, just kind of quickly here, I want to tell you about our newest sponsor. Here they are. There you go. They're our newest sponsor. Also want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Stadium Mustard. Also down at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium, as well as Lady Caroline Cruise Ship. Please be sure to check out all of our friends, support local and small businesses. So Let's start, Dustin, by talking about the win over the Steelers. Obviously, I think you can live in a world where two things are true. You can live in a world where we're just thrilled that the Browns won a game and they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and also in doing so, really kind of hurt their chances, right? And they have a do or die game against the Ravens. Love that happened. And the Browns were kind of the core of that. But you can also be in a world where you're like, man, it would have been helpful to have lost that game. Both things are true. I think it's fine to feel both things. I'm living in that world where it's like, man, I love beating Pittsburgh anytime you can. That's just no matter what the cost is on the other end of it. You beat Pittsburgh and possibly really put them in a predicament against their playoff chances. But the other aspect of, man, you walked out of a better pick. So whatever. I can see both sides of the argument. But unfortunately, Miles did not hit the sack record in that game. I was hoping that it would happen, Dustin. It didn't. But going to Cincinnati, I think there's a real shot there that it happens.
Yeah, so I was at the game, right? And we always talk about this. The Browns could go win 4 games, but if they beat Pittsburgh, all is well in Cleveland, Ohio, which I think there is some mentality to that. Actually, if you beat your arch rival Pittsburgh, which, by the way, there is something cooking here. This is actually among all the losing seasons for the Browns. This is the 4th straight game in a row that the Cleveland Browns have beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, and that's saying something, right? There was some consistency with the Browns beating this team and it being a close matchup for most of the times that they play them. I will tell you, to watch that game, obviously I was super hyper-focused on watching Myles Garrett and Aaron Rodgers in that game, and the way they just kept chipping him. I mean, he was out at the wide receiver. He's going to be covering a wide receiver in this game, and I was just like, this is crazy how much they game planned to make it so Myles Garrett did not get the record. And I think to the detriment of the football team, even though Mike Tomlin didn't really want to get into that, but to the detriment of them winning a game minus Metcalf in the game already down their number 1 receiver, that they desperately needed to win this game so they could just put it to bed, maybe rest their starters for next week. And I just think it's just crazy that they were more worried now, of course, with Watt having, a part of that record. I think there was a lot of going into this, but it's just crazy to me that they would jeopardize their season and playoff hopes on one individual player. Now, it's great. We love them, and we like that teams have to do that. But that was crazy to me. Like, to sit there and watch with some of the Browns alumni, and they're like, this is wild, because they played, and they're like, this is crazy what the Steelers are doing. They're killing themselves, basically. So
there was clearly a lot of ego involved in that, and the game plan around Myles Garrett, you're right, to the detriment of their own doing, their own team. I mean, this is poetic though, Dustin. If the Steelers really did put that much emphasis on not letting Myles get the sack record, and then they, lose this game to Baltimore and they're not in the playoffs. Honestly, and I like Mike Tomlin. I respect him as a coach.
I know.
You really question, that decision. I don't know. I think it's pretty.
Well, and you can even look at it even deeper than that. This was a one and done season for Aaron Rodgers to come in and get them into the playoffs. That was kind of like his whole sole purpose was I'm signing with you guys so we can make one last run at this. And then if they do this to end this, that's a bad look all the way around.
That's not great. I like it. I've obviously preferred to see Myles get the record against the Steelers, but I think it's funny. I imagine though, as a Steelers fan, watching that game probably had to be so frustrating.
Oh,
so frustrating.
There's so many memes out there of people in their living rooms watching that game. They're like, for the love of God, can you just beat the Browns? Like, and they're sitting there like losing their, going,
If that were the Browns doing that against TJ Watt, we would be on this podcast ripping Kevin to shreds.
Yep.
If you were just on the outside looking in of the playoffs, and if you win that game, you're essentially in. Man, that would just send us over the edge. So I'm sure that they are very,
even Schwartz in his press availability today was chuckling about it. Like, Yeah. Like we were like, what are they doing? he was like, that was crazy to us to see that, so.
Whatever. Also want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Lake Erie Distillery. Also, goodness gracious, can't pull it up here, is City Barbecue. They've got great food, award-winning sauces, sides, meats, and primetime sports and framing. Let's go ahead and bring David on. And we've got some injuries to talk about. It's been a while since we've done a podcast. Talk a little bit about Quinshon, what that looks like, his recovery time. This conversation is brought to you by our good friends over at Lorello Vineyards.
Here we go, Brownies Nations. We are here with Larry Lorello at Huntington Field to talk about Here We Go Brownies wine and all the other amazing wines at Lorello Vineyards.
Yeah, I just want to tell all of you guys, it's harvest season right now. We just started with some of the whites, and reds will be coming in next. Stop out at the winery, all the wineries out in Northeast Ohio, for to check out all the harvest and what we're doing out there. It's a really good time right now.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Here we go.
Woof, 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 woof.
All right, let's bring him on, the husband of the program, Dr. David Ellery. Hi, David.
Hey, Allie. Hello, Dustin.
Happy New Year, Doc.
Happy New Year, Dustin. Happy New Year, Allie.
Thank you. Hey, I like your hat. That's a pretty cool hat. I wonder where you got
Yeah,
it.
well, unfortunately, a splendid Christmas gift. And fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, it is officially, fully, and completely basketball season in this house. So let them know.
Let them know.
We got 3 days till the Bengals game, but then it'll be.
It's just, Dustin, David and I were just talking about this last night about how odd this is in our household going into this part of the season, because in past several years, we've had at least one of our favorite teams in the playoffs. And obviously the Buckeyes, they didn't perform well yesterday. They're out. And both the Browns and the Lions obviously are not in this year. So just kind of a salty time for us in this household. So we're embracing, draft season and basketball season. But one of the gifts that I got for David is tickets to the Senior Bowl. They are the Senior Bowl's in Mobile, so we are going to that at the end of this month to kind of get some eyes on these prospects. So
there you go.
Content surrounding that. But David,
How far are you guys from Mobile?
about an hour. We're about an hour.
1 hour.
So you're still real close.
Such a cool gift. I'm so excited because we knew it was here when we moved down here, but we kind of forgot about it just because it's not super advertised or popular, I guess, in our area. So that was quite a surprise to open up on Christmas, and I'm so excited to go see all these seniors try to essentially start their post college career and their advertise themselves to the draft and to NFL teams to make themselves known and increase their stock.
It's a window. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. David, unfortunately, Quinshon, we didn't get to talk about it. Last week we weren't on. I'll turn it over to you. Let's talk about his injury.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer. Bummer all around, truthfully. So since we last talked, there have been 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 new additions to the IR. All significant. Probably the one that you brought up, obviously, was Quinshon. We saw the injury. We saw it happen live. When we were watching it, I thought it was his knee, which I was very concerned about. It looked to be, at least on the camera angle, his knee looked like it was bent very strangely. Fortunately, it was not. Still a dislocation, but of the ankle joint, which I think is much more tolerable for any athlete or really any human. Still a severe injury regardless. So we know that you dislocated his ankle, and in doing so, you typically break a bone. It is very rare to dislocate a joint without fracturing something. He did fracture his fibula. So that's the smaller bone on the outside of the leg. It's kind of that bump you feel down at your ankle on the outside. And he also tore some ligaments in doing that. But these are just, they're not, they're important. Of course, ligaments are important to any joint, but it's not like when you think about an ACL or an MCL. Probably tore the deltoid ligament, which is a ligament on the inside of the ankle joint. So he underwent surgery pretty quick after the injury happened. They fixed the fibula and they probably repaired those ligaments. And all in all, I would anticipate a very good chance of him having a full recovery from this. That being said, we always know after big injuries like this, first season back is usually a bit of a letdown, and combining that with it being his second year, kind of the sophomore slump, if you will, we might see a little bit of a step back next year. So I'm sure they're going to be addressing the running back room in the offseason. But I fully anticipate him to be suited up, ready to go week 1 next year. Fractures, we say on average take about 6 weeks for the bone to really be healed, but then you still got about 6 more weeks of the rehab where you're starting to put more weight on it, run, jump, things like that. So all in all, a fracture in and of itself without a dislocation, it's like a 3 to 6 month recovery. Add in that dislocation, we're probably looking like more like 4 to 6, 4 to 7. But that still gives us plenty of time to get fully healed and then back in shape before the season. So unless there's any setbacks, I would see him. I anticipate seeing him ready to go for week 1, and we'll just see kind of where he lands on the depth chart based on his progress and what it looks like in his recovery.
Yeah. And obviously at that point too, we don't know if there's going to be any ramifications from his legal situation with the
Right.
NFL. Obviously, we know that, from a legal standpoint, he's not really facing anything, but from the NFL, their own investigation, we don't know what that could look like. So we'll keep you posted. But David, it's good news that that's all it was, because when we watched it, it looked gruesome. You initially were like, oh my God, this is bad. Don't even look at it. So it's good to know that, he should be good to go for the start of the season.
Yeah. And in the end, if we hear any kind of setbacks or updates in terms of the severity and anything else that they found that we weren't aware of, we'll obviously keep you updated. But that's kind of the gist of that there. Looking at the other things I alluded to, pretty much right after our last show, Jack Conklin was officially placed on the IR because of his concussion. That was on Saturday, December 20th. And so that effectively finished his season. What else? Winston Reed at linebacker the day after Christmas was placed on IR, or he was on IR and continued to be ruled out due to a back injury. And then Wyatt Teller yesterday was placed on the IR due to his calf injury. And so, that's just one game that he's essentially missing, but they still make the designations so that way they can elevate guys from the practice squad, see what they got maybe for next year, whatever they need to do. So, I mean, the offensive line, as we already saw, was just it decimated. I mean, just there's IRs across the board here at every position except for left guard. But I mean, it's not like Joel Bitonio was healthy either. So those are the significant guys placed on IR. Deshaun Watson, yet again, was confirmed he will not be activated from the reserve and PUP list this season. And then kind of looking at the practice report and the injury report just going into this week, it's long, like as long as we've ever seen it. Significance, Carson did not practice. He's dealing with a quad and ankle injury. The ankle's been lingering since halfway through the season. The quad, I think we saw really kind of come to light in the Steelers game. He was in and out. He could barely run. I mean, you guys watched it. You were there, Dustin. He could barely run, and I was frankly surprised that they left him in the whole game because they were picking on him. And in coverage, it was very obvious that he could not keep up in coverage, and they were throwing seam routes over the middle, and he just couldn't be there, and they were completing passes. So he didn't practice. We'll see. I know he wants to play in every game as much as he can, and this guy is a fighter. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. We're already on Thursday, and he didn't practice, so it's not looking promising for him. And Njoku did not practice. It is not injury-related, though. He is listed with a knee injury, but the not practice designation today is more of a personal reason for whatever that means. And Harold Fan Jr. did not practice either. So tight end depth's looking a little questionable as well, unfortunately. Other guys that were limited, Winston Reed, like we said, he's on the IR. He hasn't been activated yet. Let's see, center K. Egwakun. I don't even know who that is. He was limited to practice. Tevin Jenkins limited. Mike Hall limited. Shelby Harris limited. Miles Harden limited. Miles Garrett limited. Grant Delpit limited. And Joel Bitonio limited. So that's that. So I think we're going to see – this is going to be – I feel like this might be like a preseason game. We're going to see a lot of younger guys, a lot of practice squad guys who we aren't familiar with, just getting some reps and seeing what they can do, which is it's fine. I mean, there's nothing to win or lose at this point except for draft stock. So play the young guys, let them have some fun out there, and put a bow on the season.
Yeah, David, a couple questions I have for you in regards to the injury thing. Was interesting. Schwartz was asked about that today in his press availability with Schlesinger out there, and he goes, every time he came over off the field, he goes, he got right in Schwartz's face and say, "Hey, I can play my assignment. I can play. I'm fine." And so he kind of just let him do his thing, which I
That's
kind of
crazy.
I mean, but he goes, "Yeah." He'd come over, he'd get right in my face, and he would just say, "I'm good. I can handle my assignment." My question for you is, with the loss, we pulled up a Detroit Lion guy from the practice squad. I'm just curious if you knew anything about him. He got pulled up from the Browns. I think he's a center, but he got pulled up. We took him off the Detroit Lions practice squad. So I was just curious if you knew anything about that player, how good he was. Has he seen a lot of playing time? I was just curious. I mean,
Jeez. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know who it is. I'm looking at the depth chart right now, and he's not. Is this him, Kingsley? Is he the guy that's I talked about? No. Yes, Kingsley Egwequan. It's his first season. He's from Florida.
Okay.
I don't know a thing about him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Much to say. So, okay. Well, cool. Well, not cool. Not fun to talk about injuries, but that's kind of within the season. Want to take a bit of a transition, have a little fun with you guys. I want to do a segment. We're going to do 2 of these. I'm not going to tell you what it is until each one, but we're going to do a version of keep 3, cut 5. So you 2 work together, put your minds together, and you get to decide. I'm going to throw this first round is going to be young quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm going to throw 8 of them at you. You get to blindly choose who you're keeping and who you're cutting. So choose wisely. But David and Dustin, feel free to work together on this one.
Okay.
And the first quarterback that I'm going to throw at you is Drake May.
Ooh, I feel like that's a keep. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I'm keeping him. I mean, he's having an MVP caliber season. I know that they haven't had the strongest schedule in terms of who they've matched up with. I think they've only beaten 2 teams with over 500 winning percentage. But regardless, like, he has really stepped up into that role and elevated this team under Vrabel. I think he's at the top of that list, and that's a no-brainer.
I think so too. I think that's probably the easiest one on this list to say you got to keep this guy. Next up is Jackson Dart.
So real quick, Allie, remind me, we're keeping how many?
You're keeping 3 and you're cutting
Keeping
5.
3.
I've
Keeping
got
3,
noted.
cutting 5. Okay. Jackson Dart. What do you think, Dustin?
I think cut. I'm going to go cut on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's kind of where I'm leaning currently. Just based on, he's got some promise. He's got a little energy, but I don't know. I don't think of the young quarterbacks that we've seen. He's one of the ones at the top of the list that I want to keep right now.
Quit looking at stats. This is blind rankings. All right, we're gonna put Jackson Dart.
So, question, Hallie, are you only giving us 8 total players as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Next up is who am I gonna do? Who am I gonna throw at you? CJ Stroud.
Ooh.
This is
tough,
this one kind of, when you first brought up the segment, this popped into my head as one that I have to give some thought to, just because he's had an up and down start. I mean, his first year was awesome. Second year definitely had that sophomore slump, but he's really turned it on lately. And he is in his 3rd season. He's gotten his team to the playoffs all 3 years, and that's saying something for a young quarterback. And I try to want to remove any bias here, just because obviously we love the kid from college. I'm leaning towards keeping him. Dustin, what do you think about this?
I'm thinking cut, because knowing Allie, she's got a curveball in there.
You never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You never.
And
by the way, we
you've got
can only keep 3. That's my biggest concern. So
All
if
right.
as long as you feel comfortable, but there's a couple other young quarterbacks that you would take ahead of him that she's going to throw at us, then we'll cut him.
Okay. All right.
All right,
2 cuts, 2 cuts, 1 keep. All right.
Okay. Next up on this list is Shedeur Sanders.
Now, there was a curveball.
It's young quarterbacks. There's not a lot of them, guys. And really, my theory here is like drafted in the past 3 to 4 years, right?
Okay. So we have a parameter. Okay, that helps. Okay. His ceiling's high, but he's such an unknown to me, David. He's such an unknown. I would actually have to put him in the cut category.
No, I'm cutting him. As much as like we've got some promise there, We got to cut him.
Yeah. If you're cutting CJ Stroud, I think you have to cut Shador.
Yeah.
Next up here is Caleb Williams.
Oh, well, okay. All right. I'm okay keeping him, actually.
Yep. I was hoping you were gonna give him as an option of the 8 because I agree. We're keeping Caleb Williams. He's having a fantastic season and he's really shown that he can do this
Against tough competition, by the way, versus like Drake, where he's had to really grow on his own. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, you've got Bryce Young.
This was the other one where I was thinking like this is one I think we got to consider here. I know we cut CJ, but kind of thinking about who else is available when it comes to young quarterbacks that have a lot of promise.
3 or 4 years. We got to think, David. Like 3 or 4 years is where Ali's mindset is. So
I know, there's not much else out there. But boy, if we cut CJ, like how do we keep Price?
I think we kind of have to cut him. That's just me, because then we can. And here's my theory on it. If we cut him, we got 1 keep, 1 cut left.
Yeah.
So
we're cutting Bryce.
We're cutting Bryce.
Okay. Next up here we have Bo Nix.
Ah, there it is. I'm a big Bo Nix fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this year has been fantastic for him. Kind of not quite Drake May in terms of like the stats, but he's definitely a winner. He knows how to at least lead the team on the offensive side of the ball. I still think from a passing standpoint, there's CJ might have better options, but I think Bo Nix has really shown, I guess, that charisma, that moxie as a leader. And I'm with you, Dustin. I think we'll keep Bo Nix, right?
All right, we're keeping Bo, so the last one's the cut.
So the last one that you cut is Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
That's
Overall, guys, I like this list. I think you did a pretty good job. I think if you could go back on one of them, it's probably CJ. He's kind of the question, right? Is it Bo?
So.
Is it CJ? But right now, Drake May, Caleb, Bo are your keeps. You cut Jackson Dart, CJ Stroud, Shador Sanders, Bryce Young, and Jaden Daniels. I think it's a good list. I think you did pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
feel good about it.
And I feel like, all 3 that we picked, I mean, those are playoff caliber quarterbacks on top of it. So,
All right. Next one we're going to do here is all-time Cleveland Browns. Now, the parameters of this one are, and David, I made sure that I didn't put anybody on here that you wouldn't know, right, from your time watching. You know all of these guys. One thing I want you to just keep in mind is it is their Browns career only. Okay. So if these guys have played for other teams, do your best to maybe kind of factor that out. But
how far back we going?
There's a couple of older guys on here, but you both know them.
Okay.
These are all-time Cleveland Browns.
Is this 5 cut, 3 cut, 5?
We're gonna keep 3 cut 5, and there's some variety here. So we'll kick it off with Myles Garrett.
That's easy. To me, that's easy.
Yeah, you got to keep him. Absolutely.
I mean, he possibly could be the best at his position all time. So yeah. Absolutely.
Yep, you keep him for sure.
Next up,
I love this. You're starting off with an all-timer just to make it harder. This is great.
all right. Next up on this list is Joe Thomas, friend of the program.
Oh God, what are we doing? This is terrible.
Yep, keep him.
Keeping him.
I want to keep him. We'll see what Dustin says, but I mean,
he's the
Hall of
all-time
Famer.
I mean, now this is a guy that probably may be the best at his position all time. Like that's, I think I gotta keep him. Like,
right?
We got a lot of cutting now going on.
Do.
That's all right.
All right. Next up on this list is Odell Beckham Jr.
Cut.
Yeah. Right.
Comfortable with that. Cut him.
With that one. All right. What about Jarvis Landry?
Cut.
Good with that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, when you compare it to Myles Garrett and Joe Thomas, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We got 4 more.
Baker Mayfield.
Cut. And I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. Cut.
Yeah,
David?
I agree with you. I mean, I've definitely got in mind, hopefully, depending on what you bring to us, other players at the same position. And so I think overall, when we're ranking them, if there's an option for someone else, then we're going to have to go for that. So yeah, I agree. Cut Baker.
Next up on this list, Bernie Kosar.
Ooh. 3 AFC championship games.
Mhm.
Closest the Browns have been since 1964.
That's right.
I would keep him because he's the best quarter. I mean, there ain't going to be another. I mean, unless she pulls out an Otto Graham or someone crazy like that, like there ain't going to be a better quarterback.
So before we, fully decide, Dustin, I mean, is there any player in any other position that you would consider that she might bring up? Because obviously there's a big pool, so it may not come up, but.
Well, I mean, she brings up Jim Brown. That could throw us for a curveball, right?
Right.
Even Nick Chubb, I would probably take Bernie Kosar over because of how many playoff games he's won for the Browns, right? Like, so unless she's throwing a Jim Brown at us, that's tough. And maybe
I don't think we risk it.
Risk
I think
it?
we stick with Bernie.
All right.
I don't think we do.
All right. So Bernie's our quarterback. All right.
Okay.
So
that means that you are cutting Jim Brown. You are cutting Jim Brown and Josh Gordon.
Okay.
All right. Well, Josh, I would have cut anyway. So, okay. All right.
So, but depending on this list, right, with Josh, I think depending on the list, you could consider him. So here are some of the other names that I had on this list because I wrote down several. You've got guys like Derek Johnson, Deshaun Kaiser, Juan Thornhill, in that realm, you're definitely going to keep a Josh Gordon. So it depends on where you go with this list, but I got to be more throw, obviously these better guys at you. So you kept Myles Garrett, Joe Thomas, Bernie Kosar, and you cut Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, Jim Brown, and Josh Gordon. Knowing what you know now, would you swap any of the 3 keeps for Jim Brown?
Yeah, just because he's the best running back of all time. Like that's a whole other category.
Who would you swap? Who would that be?
Probably Bernie. I'd probably swap out Bernie with
I agree. I think that's where I was going to. I'd swap Bernie.
They are kind of unanimously the best at their position, maybe ever. For the Browns.
I mean, if you think about it, if you had a Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns, Joe Thomas is probably on there. Jim Brown is probably on there. Myles Garrett will be on there. Maybe Otto Graham or Lou the Toe Groza, one of those type of guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a combination of Lou Groza, Otto Graham, Bernie Kosar, Brian Sipe. Like those guys are in that category, but there's maybe not.
Ozzie Newsome, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I like the list both times. I think you did pretty good. Yeah,
we should
do more.
We should do a post. You know what actually make this harder is if you did a post 99 Browns on. Because there is a much smaller pool of good players and then some really bad players. So you go post 99. Now you're there were some gems in there, and then there was some like no way in that group. So that'd be a fun one.
All right. David, thank you for joining us. That was a lot of fun. Go Browns.
Yeah, thank you. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
That is Dr. David Ellery. That was a medical moment brought to you by Lorello Vineyards. Before we get into our next segment here, we also want to tell you guys about Southern Tier Brewery. You can get your official Here We Go Brownies podcast brown ale. Crystal John Tony Real Estate, if you're looking to buy or sell, she is your go-to girl. And we missed anything? Yes, We Bleed Ohio apparel. If you're looking maybe for an official Here We Go Brownies podcast hat, t-shirt, sweatshirt, you can get it there. Or your football, basketball, baseball designs, you can head on over to We Bleed Ohio. All right, Dustin, you ready to make some picks?
Yeah, I do have one question for you. And obviously we'll have a lot more on the next show next Wednesday because we'll know a lot more. Just anecdotally, where do you think the Browns are at the head coaching position after the win in Pittsburgh? Just curious, obviously we'll know a lot next Wednesday, or we'll know a lot more.
Yeah. I did see something today. I don't want to say the wrong person where I saw it from, but there's a report that came out that it's a pretty much a 50-50 split. There are internal conversations Browns are having where they're kind of exploring what a head coaching change could look like. But of course, no decisions have been made. I agree with that report. Like it could go either way. Kind of depends on what happens on Sunday. Having won that game.
What do you make of the McDaniel rumor?
Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not. I don't like what he's done in Miami. I think he's not what I think of, right? When I think of the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, for the next coach, if we are moving off of Kevin, I want somebody that is, a scheme god that can just come in here and have a great offense, great defense, whatever they're good at, be a leader of men. You think of guys like that just right away come to mind. Somebody like a Dan Campbell that can come here and build a culture, something like that. That's what interests me. Mike McDaniel's not. He does not interest me. I do think he's a great offensive mind. I do. I think he's very good at that. But from a game manager, leader, I'd probably prefer a different direction. So,
by the way, I thought it was really interesting. I know you thought I was a little crazy, but there was a couple articles out there about the possibility of trading Kevin Stefanski away too, which I thought was a little wild too. Clutch Sports and some other people were talking about it, and like I said, and to your point, you'd even take a 5th rounder for him. So
I think it's insane. All right, let's get into it. We obviously didn't do it last week. Wasn't on. It was Christmas, so we didn't make any picks. But the week prior, Dustin, I did get you. So I'm up 8-3-2. You were down 3-8-2. So
kind of like my Browns.
Week 18. We'll start off with the Panthers at Bucks. Huge playoff implications here, obviously.
Bucks.
I think so. Listen, though, this Panthers team, they are a sneaky, sneaky team. They are quite underrated, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think there is a world where I would consider taking the Panthers, but it's in Tampa Bay. Baker has more experience. I'm going to go with the Bucks, but I wouldn't be surprised. Seahawks at Niners.
Seahawks are playing really good football. Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with 49ers. I just think they
correct
are.
me if I'm wrong. If the Seahawks win, do they clinch?
Yeah, I think whoever wins this game gets. I think is it the number 1 seed. I think. I mean,
advantage. Yeah, playoffs. Yeah.
All right. Colts, Texans.
Texans.
Browns, Bengals.
I do think the Browns somehow weirdly win this game. I don't know why. I think Myles Garrett gets the sack record, and I think the Browns actually win this game because I don't think the Bengals are really playing for anything, obviously. It won't be a well-attended game. And the Browns seem to have a little bit of energy right now, especially on defense. They give me a close game, Browns.
All right, I'm going to take the Bengals here. Saints at Falcons.
Saints.
I'm going to go with the Saints here too. Falcons just had a big win against the Rams. Packers at Vikings.
Quarterback playing. Is Jordan Love back? No. Yes. I can't remember.
I think he might be. Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I think he might be.
Where are the Packers playing again?
Vikings.
Packers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers here. Titans at Jags.
Jags.
Yep. Cowboys at Giants.
Ooh. I'm going to say the Cowboys just because I feel like the Giants are like basically if they lose, they have the number 1 seed, I think, right? Or something like that. So give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Cardinals at Rams.
Rams.
Chiefs at Raiders.
Chiefs, even though, yeah, I don't know. Chiefs. I don't know though. The Raiders are playing for Raiders are like number 2 or 3 pick. So I don't know. Like, do you just lay down if you're the Raiders to try to get that pick?
You should. If you are the Raiders, you let the Chiefs win this game. It is in your best interest to go get, I don't know, Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore. I mean, they should do that. I don't know if they will though, because this Chiefs team right now is depleted big time. They're on their 3rd quarterback. It's brutal. It's not going well. What'd you say you're going to do? Are you taking the Chiefs?
I think I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah. I think I am too. Raiders don't want to win this game. Commanders at Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah. Dolphins at Patriots.
Patriots.
Lions at Bears.
Bears
need it. Chargers at Broncos.
Broncos, because I think Broncos are trying to get the number 2 seed. Yeah.
This is interesting. I'm going to go with the Broncos here. It's at home. I agree. Jets at Bills.
Bills desperately need a win.
Yes, they do. And here it is. The game, Ravens at Steelers. Who wins this one?
Ravens come all the way back from the dead to win the division.
I agree. And I think it's
Lamar Jackson looked like he's also going to be playing in the game. So
yeah, yes, I'm taking the Ravens, and I think that they just smoke the Steelers. I do, because that's just classic Browns, by the way, to beat the Steelers, but then the next game they just get absolutely just blown out. I don't know. I don't know. That's for the Browns, by the way. But
yeah.
I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think it would be just poetic for the Steelers to play with ego against the Browns and lose because they didn't want to let Myles Garrett get that sack and then just get knocked out of it entirely. I love that. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. So I've got the 49ers, you have the Seahawks, I have the Bengals, and you have the Browns. Those are our two differences. So we'll see how that pans out for us.
Looks like Brian said the winner of the Seattle-San Francisco gets the number 1 seed. So yeah.
Yep, that's right. Okay, cool. Dustin, any closing thoughts as we wrap up here?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of snow here. Big old blizzard came last night. I'm sure your dad was well busy on the roads with all the snow. I'm jealous of your warm weather, but it's supposed to be in the 40s here next week. But yeah, everybody, congratulations. We survived the 2025 Cleveland Browns season. Looking more forward to the 2026 season. But yeah, stay merry. Lots of fun things coming up this year. But man, I'm just looking forward to the draft. It's sad to say, and what the Browns may be doing free agency. But I do feel the Browns should give Shador a shot and build around him at this point because you don't have a lot of money, and if you can build a lot of stuff around him, I think it's going to take too much draft capital to move all the way up to get a quarterback next year. That's
all right. There you go. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Stay safe, stay healthy. And as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns.
SOS.